Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to do something a little special, and I'm going to do the gnocchi and meatball and red sauce recipe that I grew up with. And most of it is from this Antoinette Pope cookbook. And Antoinette Pope was this chef in like the Chicago area, and she had like a TV show that was broadcast throughout Chicago. So anyone within the Chicago area um, used her as kind of like, she was like Julia Child, but she's, a little lesser known. But this is kind of like mostly every recipe that I grew up with my grandparents making came from this book. This was like the book. So it's got a bunch of tastes that I love. I love this recipe. Anytime my grandparents come to visit, this would be like the thing they made, or like when we went to their place, this would be like the thing they made. And so we're going to try it today. I haven't made it in a long time. The sauce takes about 4 hours, but we got to do the sauce, we got to do the meatballs, and then we got to do making that gnocchi. I've never liked saying that word. I don't think I do it right, and it also feels like even when I'm talking to nobody or when I'm thinking it, someone somewhere is making fun of me. It's a little different than like when you go to a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, do you want the gnocchi?" And you're like, "Yeah," and then they always give you these big potato things. That's not this. That's not what this is. I find those to be infuriating, and I've never been a fan. This is ricotta cheese with flour, an egg, and that's it. And then you roll it with your fingers. You roll it into a long tube, and then you roll it with your fingers, and it becomes like a little shell, like a pillow shell. Okay, so let's start with the sauce. We need a 1/4 cup finely chopped celery. So it's not that much. I'm so used to doubling this recipe. I'm only making one recipe right now that it almost seems like you're not even putting anything into it, but you are. And then this one's for me. I guess trigger warning to all you misophonia heads, because this is gonna get crunchy. I love celery. Okay, a 1/4 cup finely chopped onion. Oh no, I really don't do well with onion. I mean, I really don't. It gets me good. It gets these eyes good. It's not so bad. It must not be like that fresh of an onion or something. It just doesn't seem like a lot. I'm not making that big. I have to remember, I'm making for two. I'm making for two and some leftovers. I have to remember that I'm not making for a big family. It's not Christmas. 1 clove of garlic put through a garlic press. I read something where it says like, if you cut up garlic and you leave it out for like 10 minutes, that seems like nothing. I'm really blown away. That seems like nothing. I feel like I'm making something for a mouse that's going to come out of the wall. And it's like, is my pasta ready? And I'll go, yes. This is what it seems like I'm doing. But I'm trusting the process because, I am used to doubling this. Sometimes tripling it and quadrupling it. What we're going to do is we're going to go over. We're going to start sauteing this in some oil. Then we're going to put our San Marzano tomatoes in there. Now, look, listen to me. This is important. You can't believe anything you read. And proof of that is the San Marzano tomato, the Italian San Marzano tomato. This label looks fake. It looks like a kid printed it off of their computer and put it around a can of Bush's baked beans. That's what this looks like. But I'm choosing to believe that it's real because I got it at the Italian store. You need to get San Marzano tomatoes that say DOP. I forget what it stands for. And it needs to have this certification on it, because otherwise they're liars and it's not real. You need it to be from I mean, you don't need it to be. I'm just saying that they're lying to you. So what I'm saying is these are legit. And it's going to make the sauce about 8% better. So we're going to, when I see you over there, I'll be sauteing these. I'll be putting in my San Marzano tomatoes. Then I'll be putting in 2 of these tomato pastes. Oh. They say to like put this through like a masher or something. It even says to put it through your bare hands. I'm probably not going to do that. I'll probably just mash it down with this. It's like if you opened like if you rub it's like a genie, but an Italian genie. When you open the can of tomatoes, the Italian genie comes out. I think that's fun. I think that could be a fun story to write. Maybe I will. 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 dry bay leaf, crumbled, 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now it says nutmeg and oregano. My grandma never liked oregano, and she never cooked with oregano. So growing up, I never really knew Italian food with oregano. And then when you go to like Italian restaurants, like an American Italian restaurant, they went very heavily on oregano, but we just never grew up with that flavor, which is very funny because it was just due to my grandma just not liking it. So I never put it in just because it doesn't add anything for me. I use it in other things that I cook that call for oregano, but when it comes to like the traditional Italian stuff, I don't usually use it. It also calls for nutmeg. I don't think so. 1/8 teaspoon of pepper and 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I got this from the Italian deli. You ask for their blend, they give it to you. It's really good. And I'm going to do it over this because if a little extra gets in, I'm going to keep seasoning it with it. So it's not the worst thing in the world. We're going to let it simmer in a covered saucepan while I go do the meatballs and make the gnocchi. I have to consistently stir it. Anytime it gets a little dry, I'm going to put in a little red wine. You know, the thing with like an Italian sauce, it's not meant to be done. Sorry, I got a little sauce on it and I had to get water. So there's just a little thing there, but I'm aware of it. The thing with like a sauce like this, it's meant to be cooked all day. So I'm kind of doing it at the last minute here, but this is something that's meant to be, at least as I know it, kind of come back to consistently throughout the day. You taste it, you season, you taste it, you season. And then when we make the meatballs, we'll put the meatballs in like the last 30 minutes, and that will also add a ton of flavor to it because of the juices of the meatballs. All right, everybody, it's time to get into our meatballs. But before we do, I was going to open this wine because I do have to start adding it to the sauce, just like to add a little. So I thought, it is Friday and it's after 5. A gorgeous $9 bottle of wine. Gorgeous. Okay, so now for the meatballs, it says you want to put the ingredients in the order that it tells you to do it. I've never gone like wine tasting, but I have a feeling that when you taste good wine, it doesn't taste like this wine. Okay, a 1/2 pound ground beef. I got this ground beef from the Italian store. Now it says to put in parsley or oregano. I don't want either of it. I don't like parsley and I don't need the taste of oregano. So we're skipping that step and it's okay. I've done it before and I like it. 2 tablespoons of grated Italian cheese. 1. We'll do a little, it's a heaping. 2. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. 1 clove of garlic. It says finely chopped, but I'm going to just put it through my press. 1 large egg beaten with a fork. It smells Italian in here. Between the sauce and what's going on here, it smells correct. 1/4 cup of milk. I'm using 1/2 and 1/2 because that's what I have. It also says you can use water, but I don't know what that's about. I wouldn't mess with that. 1/4 cup breadcrumbs. Okay. So now you want us to let this stand for at least 20 minutes. So I'm going to put it in the fridge. I'm going to let it stand. And so then we can start making our gnocchi.